Hey guys, so I hope you don't mind the noise upstairs. My neighbors are kind of loud and my fan being on. It's kind of hot and muggy in Mississippi right now, so it feels kind of disgusting. But today we're going to be talking about steps to solve equations with variables on both sides. So we've already talked about solving 1 and 2 step equations, but we've always had it on either or side of the equal sign. Today we're going to talk about the variables being on both sides. So, as always, we need to start off with our name being on our paper. Look at me using something different. But I might not use this color per se. It looks a bit light on my screen. There we go. I'll switch to green. So, the steps to solve an equation with variables on both sides is first to distribute. We must look to see if there's any distribution on either side of the equation. But we have to put if necessary, okay? Sometimes it's not necessary. Then we need to combine like terms. This is exactly the same way as our notes from last week. And then 3. Move variables to one side. For solve. With a smiley face. So, with these steps in mind, let's look at examples 1, 3, and 5. Remember, I do the odds, you do the evens. Always double check the comments on Schoology. When I go through and grade your papers, I always write comments on which ones are incorrect or which ones are correct. And if I have a lot more extra time, I will write down how you can fix it. But for the most part, I typically write which ones are incorrect or which ones are correct. So resubmit if you can. So, looking at example 1, we have 5y minus 8 equals 3y plus 12. So, step 1 tells me to look to see if there's any distribution. I don't see any. So we move on to step 2. Step 2 says, are there any like terms I can combine on either side? This part right here messes up a lot of people because you can't combine like terms across the equal sign because that's what step 3 is for. Step 2 is for combining like terms that are on the same side. So add this if you need to, but it's a great disclaimer. So, step 1 and 2 aren't needed for this. So move on to step 3. I need to determine which one I can move without making my variable term negative. So, if I were to move this 5, it would make this negative 2 over here when I could just move this 3 by subtracting 3y. Crossing those out leaves me with 5y minus 3y is 2y minus 8 equals 12. From there I have a regular 2-step equation, so we solve it like normal. Add 8 on both sides. +12 + 8 is 20. And now divide by 2. Y equals 10. So now looking at number 3. Also, quick notation here. You can always check your answers by plugging in the value that we got for x or y or any variable back into the equation. So I'll show you using my calculator. So I would say 5 times 10 minus 8 That equals 42. Keep that in mind. 3 times 10 plus 12. You see how both those equal 22, which means 10 is the right answer. So now moving on to number 3. We have 7k equals 3k minus 36. So we do not have to distribute. There's no like terms on either side of the equal sign. So now we need to move the variables to one side. I'm going to move this 3k over here by doing the inverse operation. And I have 4k equals negative 36. Regular one-step equation. K equals negative 9. Let's double check that. 7 times negative 9 equals negative 63. 3 times negative 9 minus 36 also equals negative 63. So negative 9 is true. Now on to the last one. We have 11 minus m equals 51 minus 6m. So, I need to determine which one I need to move to make it positive. Well, this is a negative 6m and negative 1. Negative 6m is bigger than negative 1, so if I add 6m to both sides, those would cross out, leaving me with 11 plus 5m. Sorry guys, took a pause there. Equals 51. I would subtract 11. That leaves me with 5m equals 40. Divide by 5. M equals 8. And let's plug it back in. So we have 11 minus 8 equals 3. 51 minus 6 times 8 equals 3. So that is a true statement. M equals 8 is the solution. Let's continue with the odds on the next page. So we have 3 times 6p minus 1 equals 11p minus 45. I'm doing 7, 9, and 11. So step 1 tells me to look for distribution. There is distribution here. I have to distribute this 3. Distribution also means multiplying. If you don't know that, please write it down. 3 times 6p is the same thing as saying 3 times 6, which is 18. And we just bring down the p. 3 times negative 1 gets me negative 3, so that should be 18p minus 3 equals 11p minus 45. From here, I would want to move my smallest variable, which is 11. 11 smaller than 18. That leaves me with 7p minus 3 equals negative 45. Do not drop the signs, okay? Double check your signs. Add 3 to both sides. 7p equals negative 42. Divide by 7. P equals negative 6. Let's double check it. Watch how I type this in the calculator. So I have 3, not 33, just 3, times 6, open parentheses, negative 6, close parentheses, minus 1. I typed in exactly as I saw it, but when you're substituting in values, they always have to have parentheses around them. So I hit enter, I get negative 111. So we have 11 times negative 6 minus 45, and that's also negative 111. So that's correct. On to number 9. Step 1, check for any distribution, and there is one. I'm distributing 9 to m and negative 3. 9 times 1m is 9 times 1, which is 9, and then m. And then 9 times negative 3, which is negative 27, plus 3m equals 7m plus 43. Now, check for like terms on singular sides. So I have to look on this side by itself, and then look on this side by itself. I see like terms on this side, and that's the 9m and the 3m. So I can combine those two and get 12m minus 27 equals 7m plus 43. Now I look at my variable terms. I determine which one would be easier to move without getting a negative. Negatives will happen, so do not fret about that. Don't get upset about that. Negatives can happen. It's possible. But I'm trying to move the one that's small enough that I won't have to have a negative. There will be some problems where we will have negatives. So we have 12 minus 7m, which is 5m, minus 27 equals 43. Now I add 27 to both sides. Leaves me with 5m equals 70. Divide by 5. Those 5's cross out, leaving me with 14. This was going to be a little doozy to plug in, but let's do it. So we have 9 times 14 minus 3. So close parentheses. Let me fix that. There we go. Plus 3 times 14. That gives me 141. So 7 times 14 plus 43. 141. It's true. Now to number 11. I'm distributing a negative 1 and a negative 2. So when I rewrite this, I should have 5x minus x plus 18 equals 6 minus 2x minus 30. From here I need to combine like terms on both sides. I have 5x minus x, which gives me 4x plus 18 equals, and then 6 and negative 30 can be combined together to give me negative 2x minus 24. So negative 2 is smaller than 4, so I would add 2x to both sides to get my variable on one side, and that leaves me with 6x plus 18 equals negative 24. Subtract 18. 6x equals 42 with a negative in front, so negative 42. X equals negative 7. And last but not least, let's check it. So we have 5 times negative 7 minus negative 7 minus 18, and it gives me negative 10. 6 minus 2, negative 7 plus 15, also negative 10. So that's correct. And that's how we solve equations with variables on both sides. Please don't forget to try the evens on your own. Make sure you submit them, and ask me any questions you have, guys. I'll see you later. Bye.